Mike Pence? What? Vice President Michael Pence, thank you for your service. You saved democracy. All things considered, you made the transfer of power possible. America owes you. Thank you for your service. We love you. Hi, I'm Clarence Richard. I am a 50-year veteran, and I am more than just concerned about democracy surviving much longer. The democracy Republicans are asking me to defend is not the democracy I fought for. Lies do matter. Lies are a democracy killer. Tell them like it is, Mitt. Mitt, tell them like it is. How do we get out of this mess?
By telling them the truth.
Billy and I are doing a short film called With Friends Like That, Who Needs Enemies? This is a story of a president crucifying his vice president for following the law. This is a story about too many congressmen biting one of the hands that feeds them. That's all. While kissing another hand that should not be feeding them, and that's money in government. Like taking money under the table, a little bit like bribery. And the Supreme Court allows that. Why in tarnation would any educated person do something like that, much less a Supreme Court thinking that's a good idea? That's the surest way to kill a democracy, and your Supreme Court is doing that.
Now, can y'all hear me all the way in the back?
Georgia had just elected 2 new senators.
Hello, Marietta, Georgia.
About the same time, anarchists set up the gallows hoping to snare them a vice president.
Soon after, President Trump would send his loyal vigilantes to storm the Capitol in what was an attempt to break democracy, kill people, and then try to get away with it. He did what he said he'd do, and Republicans did what Trump said they'd do.
And what happened? You were trying to go inside the Capitol?
Yeah, I made it like a foot inside and they pushed me out and they maced me.
And why did you want to go in?
We're storming the Capitol. It's a revolution.
Revolutions don't work, and they are insane. Look how far we have evolved when we best work together. Evolving takes collaboration. Collaboration unites Americans into the United States of America instead of the divided states of America. If you get anything out of this little movie, remember 2 things. Democrats are collaborators and Democrats are good for business.
Today you will see Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, and Kevin McCarthy at their fork in the road. They had good intentions, but only momentarily. Their lack of conviction and courage forced them to bend to the will of a wannabe dictator, make not small course corrections, but huge decisions which would wound our country beyond belief. This story is true. The names have not been changed to make Congress accountable. We're going to rough you up a little. We're going to remind you of what you said and what you didn't say, and we're going to scold you for it too. We don't want you out of office. We just want you to fess up and make a difference.
Don't take your guns to town, son. Leave your guns at home, Bill. Don't take your guns to town.
Impeach.
Oh my God.
Oh, you did a fantastic job.
Today I will lay out just some of the evidence proving that we won this election, and we won it by a landslide. This was not a close election.
No fighting! All your words!
Hey! Hey, you fucking cop! Stop it! Stop it!
Hey!
You
Leave him alone! He's a war veteran!
Go!
You leave him alone! He served our country!
Come on!
If he touches you, I will cripple him.
No, you don't do that. Let me take care of this. Stay there. Stay.
We will stop the steal.
I'm on your side.
How do you feel? I'm fucking pissed. That's how I fucking feel. 35% of these goddamn cocksuckers, and they still follow the motherfucker.
Come on.
He can do whatever the fuck he wants, and it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Well, he said he could shoot somebody and...
Okay, stop that. Don't ramp him up.
War, the collusion with fucking Ukraine.
We got it, we
collusion
got
with fucking China. And the motherfucker, he rubs it in our fucking faces every motherfucking day. I might have done it. I don't, who the fuck cares if I did, right?
The blame on everybody
Tell the
else.
Muslims to get the fuck out, right? Whatever the fuck.
We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen.
And thanks for being here. Okay, we're on the same side.
Thank you for calming me down.
Okay. Just let it be now.
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up!
Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up! Lock him up!
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Stand in front of that impeach sign. This is what it's all about. No one's got a bigger impeach sign than I got.
I know. I've been following you.
Okay, good for us. Hi.
You guys okay?
We're good. Thank you for asking. It's a peaceful demonstration. Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy!
Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy! Save our democracy!
You got voice. Josh, you got some voice today.
Now we gather due to a selfish man's injured pride and the outrage of supporters who he has deliberately misinformed for the past 2 months and stirred to action this very morning. What happened here today was an insurrection incited by the President of the United States.
What really comes down to is there are two questions. Why were we so ill-prepared?
Really? You have to ask that? You were at the helm, one of the most powerful leaders in the free world.
Second is, you got to make sure it never happens or has the ability to happen again.
First, your second question wasn't a question at all. Second, you order us to make sure it doesn't happen again. Actually, it comes down to the people who voted you in.
The violence, destruction, and chaos we saw earlier was unacceptable, undemocratic, and un-American.
By whose standards? George Washington's or Donald Trump's?
It was the saddest day I've ever had as serving as a member of this institution.
Kevin, you know what keeps me up at night? Sadly, you. You keep me up at night. You are the terror of my dreams. You make my dreams nightmares.
Now is the moment to show America we can work best together. The sham committee that's just politically driven by Speaker Pelosi.
How many people believe that?
Hold it right there. What happened to now is the moment to show America we can work best together? Did you say that?
Yeah, you heard that right, folks. Now is the time to show America we can work best together, coming straight from the mouth of Representative Kevin McCarthy. The only problem is McCarthy and his cronies seem to have the tendency to speak from both sides of their mouths. Just take a look and you'll see what I mean.
It doesn't matter today what she does with that committee because it's not going to change the outcome.
Hold on, wait a minute. Because it's not going to change the outcome? Is that what you so eloquently said, Kevin? If we investigate nothing, nothing's going to change. And you wonder why we weren't prepared. Investigations make it so we are prepared. But you know that.
I beg your pardon. Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency? Let us not assassinate this lad further, Senator. You've done enough. Have you no sense of decency, sir? At long last, have you left no sense of decency?
In my discussions with Judge Garland, the President's nominee to be Attorney General, I specifically raised the need to continue investigating and prosecuting anyone who broke the law that day.
Wow, so this guy has a spine after all. Excuse me. Oh, my producers are telling me I spoke too soon. Spoiler alert.
Now, Mr. President, one final matter.
One final matter? Kind of hard to choke that out with a straight face.
After careful consideration, I've made the decision to oppose the House Democrats' slanted and unbalanced proposal for another commission to study the events of January the 6th. After careful consideration.
Slanted and unbalanced House Democrats after careful consideration? Just what do you mean by careful?
After careful consideration.
So you take me for a fool.
After careful consideration.
We know you stood up to Trump for that fleeting moment, but did you not carefully consider the ramifications of your actions, which would lead you to pull a complete 180?
After careful consideration.
Turn some state's evidence and stop being so Mitchy.
After careful consideration.
Were you sweeping this under the rug? What's under your rugs at home? Got any dead bodies?
After careful consideration.
Who's your daddy?
After careful consideration.
Have you considered the Witness Protection Program?
Fraud. They say there's 66,000 people in Georgia under 18 voted. How many people believe that? I asked, give me 10. I hadn't had one. They said 8,000 felons in prison in Arizona voted. Give me 10. I hadn't gotten one. Does that say there's problems in every election? I don't buy this. Enough's enough.
And Trump was up for impeachment a second time. 50 Republican senators were asked to impeach him for the second time. I asked for 50 and I couldn't get 10.
Wisconsin Supreme Court ruled 4-3 that they didn't violate the Constitution of Wisconsin. I agree with the 3, but I accept the 4. If Al Gore can accept 5-4, he's not president. I can accept Wisconsin 4-3.
Good evening. Just moments ago, I spoke with George W. Bush and congratulated him on becoming the 43rd president of the United States.
If Al Gore can accept he isn't president, we can accept Trump isn't president, and Trump can accept he isn't president. Some congressman voted to overturn the election. I asked for 0, and you gave me 147.
Enough's enough. Pennsylvania, it went to the Second Circuit. So much for all the judges being in Trump's pocket. They said, no, you're wrong. I accept the Pennsylvania Second Circuit that Trump's lawsuit wasn't right. Georgia, they said the Secretary of State took the law in his own hands. He changed the election laws unlawfully. A federal judge said, no, I accept the federal judge even though I don't agree with it.
Lindsay, I like the outcome you chose, but what is it about the federal judge you couldn't agree with? Surely the judge was following the details of his case much closer than you could. Wouldn't you agree? And you disagreed with him. Don't get it. Count me out.
It breaks my heart that my friend, a president of a consequence, would allow yesterday to happen.
That my friend, president of consequence. What? Never heard that term before. The way you flip-flop sounds like it applies to you as well. Lindsay?
When it comes to accountability, the president needs to understand that his actions We're the problem, not the solution.
Hey, hotshot, you talk big now. I think it will be you needing to understand your accountability and lack of it becomes your legacy. Take the knee, kiss the ring, eat crow, stand down, hotshot, stand down.
Does Donald Trump bear any responsibility for the attack on the Capitol on January 6th?
No. No.
So Lindsey obviously got caught standing up to the president, but what does he say when asked if he still stands up to the president?
No.
It ain't gonna work. All I can say is count me out. Enough is enough.
Count you out? Gladly, Lindsey. Just don't let the door hit ya, or the good Lord split ya.
And Lindsey, for you, I wish what others wish. I wish you enough sun to keep your attitude bright. No matter how gray the day may appear, I wish you enough rain to appreciate the sun even more. And Lindsey, I wish you enough happiness to keep your spirit alive and everlasting. And Lindsey, I wish you enough pain so that even the smallest of joys in life may appear bigger. I wish you enough gain to satisfy your wanting. And Lindsey, I wish you enough loss to appreciate all that you possess. And Lindsey, I wish you enough hellos to get you through the final goodbye.
In the very chamber where the insurrection took place, dozens of Senate Republicans voted to block an independent commission to investigate the January 6th attack.
They'll be remembered for their role in the shameful episode in American history. That will be their legacy.
The motion is not agreed to.
This vote has made it official. Donald Trump's big lie has now fully enveloped the Republican Party.
On January 6th, I will object to the Electoral College vote. That's right. That's right. Thank you. We're going to get this done. Woo! Thank you, Georgia.
President Trump is focused squarely on overturning the election. ABC News has learned details of an Oval Office meeting Friday night with a noted conspiracy theorist and his former national security advisor, Michael Flynn.
Those who choose to continue to support his dangerous gambit by objecting to the results of a legitimate democratic election will forever be seen as being complicit in an unprecedented attack against our democracy.
The Lincoln Project, a political action committee formed by former Republicans to attack President Trump, also shone a spotlight on Senator Hyde Smith and the other 5 Republicans opposing Arizona's election results, using the hashtags Seditious6 and Remember Their Names. Uncle Sam, notorious advocate for the common man, tried to talk to Senator Cindy Hyde Smith last year about her voting behavior. Instead, Sam was thrilled to meet a most delightful young lady from Mississippi. Please take a listen.
Hi, it's another newsletter day. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Is it Senator Reed knows?
Yes, we pass them along.
Okay, well, you pass them along, but you haven't really seen the senator reading them.
Well, I give them to her.
Okay, well, that's your part. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I'm just thinking about you, because you're going to be on this planet a lot longer than I am.
Yes, sir.
And so I'm fighting for you, and the party of Trump is not going to do you any favors. I'm an engineer, and this just does not add up. So please, if you can get the senator to vote, I mean, Republican at least, not party of Trump. I mean, I'm an independent voter. It is Democrat, it is Republican, but it is never the party of Trump.
Yes,
So
sir.
please, I fought for my democracy. It's her turn to fight for ours.
Yes, sir.
And she can do it.
Absolutely.
So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay,
Thank you for coming in and
you-
putting so much time into this.
Breaking news, Mitt Romney was the only Republican senator who voted to convict President Donald Trump in his first impeachment trial. In February 2021, he joined 6 other Republicans in voting to convict in his second trial. Mitt, what a guy. He was the only one to vote to impeach both times.
The following Republicans gracefully put country over party by voting to convict at President Trump's second impeachment trial. Mitt Romney, Utah. Susan Collins, Maine. Lisa Murkowski, Alaska. Pat Toomey, Pennsylvania. Ben Sasse, Nebraska. Richard Burr, North Carolina. Bill Cassidy, Louisiana. The following Republicans voted to overturn the election, citing baseless claims of election fraud. Viewer discretion is advised.
They'll be remembered for their role in the shameful episode in American history. That will be their legacy.
This land is your land. This land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the Redwood Forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Hey, this land.
The best way we can show respect for the voters who are upset is by telling them the truth.
The following 35 Republicans voted to block a commission to investigate the January 6th insurrection at the U.S. Capitol. Viewer discretion is advised. John Barrasso, Wyoming. John Bozeman, Arkansas. Shelley Moore, Capitol, West Virginia. John Cornyn, Texas. Tom Cotton, Arkansas. Kevin Kramer, North Dakota. Mike Crapo, Idaho. Ted Cruz, Texas. Steve Daines, Montana. Joni Ernst, Iowa. Deb Fisher, Nebraska. Lindsey Graham, South Carolina. Chuck Grassley, Iowa. Bill Haggerty, Tennessee. Josh Hawley, Missouri. John Hoeven, North Dakota. Cindy Hyde-Smith, Mississippi. Ron Johnson, Wisconsin. John Kennedy, Louisiana. James Lankford, Oklahoma. Mike Lee, Utah. Cynthia Lummis, Wyoming. Roger Marshall, Kansas. Mitch McConnell, Kentucky. Jerry Moran, Kansas. Rand Paul, Kentucky. Marco Rubio, Florida. Rick Scott, Florida. Tim Scott, South Carolina. Dan Sullivan, Alaska. John Thune, South Dakota. Tom Tillis, North Carolina. Tommy Tuberville, Alabama. Roger Wicker, Mississippi. Todd Young, Indiana.
Today we saw intelligent men needlessly arguing with themselves. They don't know what to do. They painted us in a corner, and they gave our power to a total madman.
We heard from congressmen acting against our own interests. We are looking for leaders, not those guys. We have a democracy to maintain and a plan to save. The Ronald Reagan trickle-down economic theory doesn't work for everyone. Ronnie, what is it about the little people you don't like? Ronnie, newsflash, all that power and money, you can't take it with you. Hey, your backroom deals aren't getting the job done. Unregulated capitalism is just that, unregulated. I'm an engineer. It doesn't add up. I'm talking to you, Lindsey and Mitch and McCarthy, and I'm also talking to you, Supreme Court. I don't buy it. Enough is enough.
Well, speaking of the Supreme Court, it would not be surprising that there's a few bad apples in that bunch. You want proof? So how did the 9 judges vote, and what administration put them on the bench? Vote on what? Citizens United, the most damaging law allowing corporations to run the country. And now we have a free-for-all in our government.
The impact of the Citizens United decision. Outside groups have spent over $4.4 billion in federal elections since the Citizens United decision. Of the $4.4 billion, nearly $1 billion has been spent in federal elections as untraceable dark money expenditures. 86% of all outside spending in federal elections in the past 30 years has come in the 10 years since the decision. Those who voted in favor of the decision include Justice Anthony Kennedy, nominated by Ronald Reagan; Justice John Roberts, nominated by George W. Bush; Justice Samuel Alito, nominated by George W. Bush; Justice Antonin Scalia, nominated by Ronald Reagan; Justice Clarence Thomas, nominated by George W. Bush; while those who opposed include Justice John Paul Stevens, nominated by Gerald Ford, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, nominated by Bill Clinton, Justice Stephen Breyer, nominated by Bill Clinton, Justice Sonia Sotomayor, nominated by Barack Obama.
You get what you paid for. Unregulated capitalism and world unrest. Democrats are good, and Democrats are good for business.
So what's relevant to you about us? I am the middle guy of a 3-generation veteran family. My father, Nicholas, a World War II Army veteran, died at 80 years old. He enlisted to fight off Japan. Myself, Clarence Richard, aka Uncle Sam, I am a Cold War Army veteran. And my son, a Persian Gulf Navy veteran. God bless his soul. He died unexpectedly at 32 years old. I think of him every day. He enlisted because he wanted to serve, and serve he did. What is relevant about us three amigos that you should know? All three of us enlisted for the right reasons. Fun fact, 10% of the insurrectionists were veterans. They enlisted for the wrong reasons.
Reports are in that veteran participation in the insurrection have now jumped to 20%. That's 1 in 5.
Anyone participating committed treason. Plain and simple, a vet participating in treason is criminal and should be jailed. Any vet participating should be given a post-service dishonorable discharge. I'll deliver it myself. This is so disgraceful. What drew me to this project, you ask? I dream a lot. I dream that humanity shall evolve before it kills itself. Being with a bunch like this shows you what evolving is like. And we're not going nowhere.
First, we study where we went wrong and we change our habits. We educate them by telling them the truth, even when it's inconvenient. We must do our part to ensure future generations are raised in an America they can be truly proud of, one free of tyranny and lies. It's about taking the steps to make change that matters. Ryan and I first crossed paths in 2005. We both envisioned an exciting career in the film industry together. It wasn't long before we were friends, partners, and soulmates making films in Hollywood, California. This photograph was taken the night Ryan and I won Best Documentary at the 2007 NBC Universal Film Festival. The documentary was actually partly based on his life, which made the award even sweeter. Ryan was a great friend with a heart of gold, a patriot of his country, and a creative inspiration. He was a truly unforgettable person who left a positive impression on every single person he encountered. I know I'll sure as hell never forget him.
Back in the day, Terry Burke and Andrew Scott Berman were activists. Andrew served in the Army while protesting the Vietnam conflict at the same time. And he's a fellow member of the veterans group Common Defense. As pictured here in the newspaper clipping, Andy's significant other, Terry, is not a fan of unnecessary war. To you both, thanks for your service. Terry, you really did stand up. You got backbone. John Wexler, Vietnam Marine combat vet, puts in his 100% every day. John, thanks for the never-ending service. Let's all toast to the end of the revolution thinking and the start of evolution thinking. And the fellow on the left? Dave Logsdon. Dave is Minnesota's Veteran for Peace, El Presidente, and proud to be a U.S. Navy combat veteran, but not so proud of unnecessary war. All I gotta say is enough is enough. This is what I gotta say to you. Evolve, then lead, or follow, or get the hell out of my way.
And hey Donald, thanks for your help. It really made a difference. You got more people to come out to vote than ever before. I never knew we had so many civic-minded people in this country until you came along. have a way of bringing the good out of most people. You're the greatest. Much like the comet approaching Earth in the Leonardo DiCaprio film Don't Look Up, there's a crisis called fascism hurling its way toward American democracy. It's up to us to stop it on November 8th, a mere 10 months away. Will it hit us or not? What happens November 8th determines whether we turn red forever or blue forever.
Dr. Randall, you sure you're okay? You want a glass of water? Or?
I don't feel so good.
All right. So I think what we'll do is we'll go to commercial break, and we will be right back.
Please, Bree, don't cut away. Let me say something.
Well, you came to the right place because on this show we like to say things.
Oh, would you please just stop being so pleasant? I'm sorry, but not everything needs to sound so goddamn clever or charming or likable all the time. Sometimes we need to just be able to say things to one another. We need to hear things. Look, let's establish once again that there is a huge comet headed towards Earth. And the reason we know that there is a comet is because we saw it. We saw it with our own eyes using a telescope. I mean, for God's sakes, we took a fucking picture of it. What other proof do we need? And if we can't all agree at the bare minimum that a giant comet the size of Mount Everest hurtling its way towards planet Earth is not a fucking good thing, then what the hell happened to us? I mean, my God, how do we even talk to each other? What have we done to ourselves? How do we fix it? We should have deflected this comet when we had the fucking chance, but we didn't do it. I mean, I don't know why we didn't do it. And now they're actually firing scientists like me for speaking out, for opposing them. And I'm sure many of the people out there aren't even going to listen to what I just said because they have their own political ideology. But I assure you, I am not on one side or the other. I'm just telling you the fucking truth.
I think this would be a good time to establish that Isherwell and the president have both said that there's benefits to be had.
Right, well, the president of the United States is fucking lying. Look, I'm just like all of you. I hope to God that this president knows what she's doing. I hope she's got us all taken care of. But the truth is, I think this whole administration has completely lost their fucking mind, and I think we're all gonna die! Look, I just want to go home.
Leo, it's not so bad. We have the Incredibles on our side. We still have time. We just got to get everybody on board.
Moving forward.
Save yourself, make a shoot! Make a shoot, make a shoot!
Alan, brace yourself! Crash positions!
Going forward, let's consider a 6-step winning plan. If we are going blue in 22, this is a 6-step plan that gets us there. Step 1, stop terrorizing each other and the rest of the world. We are all in this boat together. Stand against unnecessary war.
He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. He's been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's a Catholic, a Hindu, an atheist, a Jain, a Buddhist and a Baptist and a Jew. And he knows he shouldn't kill, and he knows he always will kill you for me, my friend, and me for you.
Step 2, don't look around to see if others are standing with you. Faith, faith, faith. We will be standing with you. This is not a dictatorship yet, which means the government is not threatened by your free speech. I got a story for you. Outside the Trump rally, 2 thugs attempted to take my mic from me. During the struggle, they suddenly disappeared immediately after we heard a friendly voice behind me saying, "There is more of us than there are of you." What a welcome sign. They scattered like chickens. When we all stand up instinctively, there are more of us than there are of them. Ever.
I'm gonna tell you, fascists sure might be surprised. There's people in this world, and we're getting organized. You bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. There's people from every nation marching side by side. They're marching, crossing fields where 1,000,000 fascists died. You're bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. Oh, all you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. You bound to lose, you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose. All you fascists bound to lose.
Step 3, poke the bear.
I'm a flag-waving, patriotic nephew of my Uncle Sam, a rough-riding, fighting Yankee man. I love Mom and apple pie and the freedoms that we all enjoy across this beautiful land. I worked hard and I'd fight hard for the old red, white, and blue.
Step 4, regroup.
If it comes to where I have to, I'm a flag-waving, patriotic nephew of my Uncle Sam, a rough-riding, fighting Yankee man.
All right, okay, yes. Step 5, attitude. It's all in your attitude. Henry Ford once said, whether you can or you can't, you're right. Attitude, it's all in your attitude. Attitude, attitude, attitude. Attitude is all in your attitude. You can all relax. Job well done. Now that things have slowed down, I'd like to ramble on a bit with you. If you are still here, you are at least questioning the direction conservative thinkers are thinking. Near the beginning of this film, you met a very angry veteran.
I'm fucking pissed. That's how I fucking feel.
Look at what we do to people when we send them off to unnecessary war. And then come back to this.
Send her back! Send her back! Send her back!
Buffy Sainte-Marie said it best.
This is not the way to put an end to war.
Buffy, you're wonderful. Thanks for being a friend. Leo DiCaprio, you are my present-day Paul Revere. Thanks for your call to action.
What have we done to ourselves? How do we fix it?
My fellow Americans, listen up. He isn't doing this for attention. And you Incredibles, now that's a family that gets along. Take a bow. Billy, I can't thank you enough. I see what Ryan saw in you. I just can't imagine painting blue in 22 without you. We just passed our first insurrection anniversary, and Senator Mitch McConnell seems firmly flopped for destroying a perfectly kind of good democracy.
The facts have come out, and they'll continue to come out.
I guess we need to take matters into our own hands. Whether you can or you can't, you are right. All those saying can't, pray for us and yourself at the same time. All of those saying can, follow me. Let's talk about the white elephant in the room for a little bit. Whatever side of the divide you are on, you are damned. Damned if you are for it, and damned if you are not. There can be a solution, but first, I have a question for you. Can we all agree that whether abortion is legal or not, abortions will happen, mothers will die, and children will go cold, hungry, and improperly cared for? Look at the data when we compare a pro-life attitude versus a pro-birth attitude. Once these guys are out of the womb, that's when pro-birthers start not caring enough. And you say, oh yes, we do care enough. That's when Sam says, your track record says otherwise. Just dump those poor souls to the streets, living life with little or no hope. Just look around. It's everywhere. In the meantime, let's get this on right. What do we got here? White lives matter. They'll ruin a democracy. Black lives matter. If you don't take care of black lives, you're going to ruin your democracy. What I would say to all cultures, look at the ways to slow your baby rate down. Just like the capacity of a boat, it has limits. Don't rock the boat, baby. Don't tip the boat over. That's what you have going against you. Okay, here is a plan. It's all spelled out in a book, Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg. I found free access to it as an audiobook.
Do you ever stop to ask yourself, what do I do next? No, of course not. That's because your brain has formed a habit that allows you to act like a robot to get things done.
Power of Habit. Google it. Remember the Montgomery bus boycott of the 1950s?
Rosa Parks boarded a bus on December 1st, 1955 in Montgomery, Alabama, following a long day of work. Shortly after, a white man boarded. Mrs. Parks was then ordered by the bus driver to give up her seat. In 1955, Montgomery law stated buses must be segregated. Mrs. Parks was ordered to move to the back of the bus. She then made one of the most important choices in history. She refused to give up her seat.
Mrs. Rosa Parks was arrested and taken from the bus just because she refused to give up her seat.
Nearly the entire population of 50,000 African Americans in Montgomery came together to boycott the buses.
And that was the day when we decided that we were not going to take segregated buses any longer.
The bus company yielded after a struggle with the people. Corporations didn't win that time. People did. That's all you need to know. It can be done. Want to target a corporation caught putting money into our elections? Let's start with Sainte-Marie at Granite Countertops, manufactured in Minnesota and headquartered at Eden Prairie, with distribution in the Home Depot stores. You got more power than you think. Organize. Organize in front of their buildings. Do it over and over again. Just do it. What does boycotting look like? This is what boycotting looks like. Check this out. $200,000. Hope the food wasn't too bad. We were parked right outside Marty's Palace on beautiful Lake Minnetonka. They were situated so close, sometimes in ways we felt like we were part of their party. The best part, besides his share in Cambria, Marty owns Howard's Point Boat Rental right there on the lake. Marty, how handy for me. Thanks for being a friend. Ever wonder if the Davis boys got in the Trump family plan? 3 people for the price of 4? Talk to you later. I love you. Take care. Knock yourself out. Have fun.
If we are going to make a difference and create positive change, we have to invest. Please help us connect with persuadable voters. If you would like to help us wake America up, donate today and contribute to the cause. Our GoFundMe, PayPal, and Venmo links can be found in the video description. You can also scan the QR codes for direct access. Your contribution will allow us to continue creating content and saturate social media with the messages America needs to hear.
By telling them the truth. By telling them the truth. By telling them the truth.
We are collaborating with experts to build a following on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. It is our ultimate goal to help progressive candidates win their elections nationwide. Please donate. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our content with your friends. Together, we can become Blue and 22.
Besides having a great time at the fair, smiling with people on and off camera, something around the corner caught my eye. It's one of those patriotic things that most anyone with warm blood can do. So I got some time on my hands and I popped into the American Red Cross and I give a pint. I am expecting to wait there quite some time, but no, they hustled me right on through. I looked around and the beds were near empty. We had a half dozen volunteers waiting to take your blood and their beds were unoccupied. I felt good and bad. Bad that their beds were near empty and I have not given in such a long time. Why was I feeling good? I felt good because I was making up for it today and have done so since. This was my Red Cross lady that took my blood. We talked why the beds were going empty. These staffers and volunteers were all set up all around and ready to go. And then a depressing nothing, just me. I told her we are going to do something about that tomorrow. I was there when they opened the following day and got to work outside shuffling people in so these beds could get filled inside. As you can see, it's starting to work. I plant myself right there on the floor, flagging them down, pointing out the Red Cross store right over there. Come on, give me some blood. Only a pint, just a pint. It's right over there. It's the American thing to do. Come on, you're gonna feel better. These kids were so good. They deserve a medal, and so do their parents. They are just getting to the fair, and I divert them for a half hour to volunteer some blood. Ain't that something? The American Red Cross got their 2 pints, and these guys got a smile on their face. Later on, word came from inside. Stop, we're all filled up. That was my goal. I wanted to hear that. We did that in a couple of hours. We filled her up. Now I'm asking you for a pint of money. These guys said, why not? I love you guys. Thanks for being a friend. And I could use a friend, another friend just like you. As a friend, just a pint. It's only a pint. Just a buck. It's just a buck. Please, donate to our cause, to your cause, to our cause. Thank you very much.
Okay, how about $10? It's just 10. It's for your democracy. Okay then, $100. It's a bargain. I heard he filled up the Red Cross beds for the entire day in just 2 hours. What a guy.